Hi, I'm Shannon McGee with Network and Action in Music City in Brentwood. And today I have Heath Albritton with Guaranteed Rate. Hi, Heath. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Shannon. How are you?
I am doing great. Thank you. I'm glad you could join me today. I have this question on my mind. You have 27 years experience as a mortgage expert, and I'm sure you have seen a lot of ups and downs. And we're kind of in this unknown place, right now, I feel like in the market. What would you say to someone, considering buying, selling, investing, or waiting, this unknown fear or whatever happens to be in the market right now?
Yeah, and thank you for again for having me today. But yeah, 27 years, I have certainly seen the ebbs and flows, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly, as we say. 2008 was a challenging time for everybody. But there's one thing that we can never do, and that's predict what happens today, much less tomorrow, right? So, people are never going to stop buying homes. There's always going to be a need for a home. People are going to be getting married. People are going to be upsizing. They're going to be downsizing, and unfortunately, there's going to be divorce situations. So there's always going to be a need for a mortgage, right? And in most cases, I would say 99% of the time, people aren't going to either be able to pay cash for a house or they're not going to want to pay cash for a house. So they're going to need financing, right? So think about gas prices for a second, Shannon. When gas prices went to an all-time high, we all hated it. We complained, but did we stop driving? We didn't, right? We kept having to drive. So here's what I always say: you date the rate and you marry the house, right? So if you do take on a higher interest rate right now, there's always going to be a refinance opportunity down the road, for sure. So just having that in mind and knowing that rates, and we do anticipate rates to be lower at the end of the year than they are right now. And certainly what we've seen over the last couple of weeks with all the banking dilemma and everything that we've seen, we have gotten some relief lately. So we've been able to take advantage of some lower rates, just of recent.
That's awesome. Yeah. In fact, it's good you pointed that out. We did that ourselves when we moved into our house 16 years ago. Rates weren't as high, but they dropped crazy low. And at the time, I was actually able to refinance not only at a lower rate but a lower term, and it was just like and I never anticipated that. I didn't plan for it. Who knew that that was going to happen? But having a partner to work with when that happened and take advantage of it is so key. So with that, tell me a little more about guaranteed rate. How are you different from other lenders and banks in the marketplace?
Yeah, so great question. I cut my teeth 27 years ago with a bank, and I would say 90% of my career has been spent with a regional or large bank, right? So the thing to consider, and banks do a great job, don't take anything away from the banks, but a bank is a bank first, right? So they have to be a full service operation. So they offer car loans, they offer CDs, investments, and they also offer mortgage loans because they have to, right? But it's also a money making solution for them. So I chose guarantee rate. Guarantee rate's different because that mortgages is that's all we do, right? We don't concentrate on anything else. So if you're going to do just one thing and have one trade item, you better be good at it. And we are. Guarantee rate is very good at it. So we were one of the first to roll out a complete digital mortgage. So our platform is just unreal. So we had a couple just literally 2 weeks ago that were vacationing in Bermuda when their closing date was supposed to happen. We didn't have to move the closing date. They signed all of the documents completely electronic in Bermuda.
Wow.
So, and those are things that our owner of the company, who was a top producer in his market in Chicago several years ago, said, look, I'm tired of working for companies that just can't do it right. So the only way to do this is to start my own company. And in doing so, we're going to be a market leader. And we're going to have the best digital platform. We're going to have the best tools, not only for our clients, but also for our producers. And that allows us to be top of mind. It allows us to be more aggressive in the market. And it's been a wonderful thing. And we have the same day mortgage that we just rolled out to, where we have the ability to approve a loan in one day.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So that's
That's
just a
awesome.
testament to what we can do.
Well, what I really hear, and this is true in any industry, but especially true when it's your personal finances, right? So if you feel like there's uncertain times, if you maybe are a little, uncomfortable. I don't know that anybody's really ever comfortable spending what we spend when we purchase a home, right? But especially when you sign that bottom number, but it's so much better to have an expert alongside that can recommend. what about this, or try this, or I think this product will work for you because of this, and staying in touch so that when that opportunity comes to refinance, and you have someone who knows and can help you along, along that process.
Yeah, and Shannon, it's so important to get with a mortgage professional. You can hop online all day long to get anything, and you can shop rates, you can shop the lowest rate. But I always say, if they're offering the lowest rate, maybe there's nothing else they have to offer you, right? So if I'm making the biggest, largest investment in my life, I want to be with somebody that I know, that I trust. So think about this for a second. Use this analogy. So if today you were told that you had a terminal disease, right, and you needed to find a doctor, are you going to want the cheapest doctor you can find, or are you going to want the best doctor you can find? So, right. So, and the same goes for an attorney. You've been accused of something that could put you in prison the rest of your life. I doubt you're going to go through the yellow pages or
Right.
what you used to do and find the cheapest attorney you can find. I doubt you're going to do that. So why
Absolutely.
would you do that with the largest purchase in your life?
Well, I think what's key, and you and I had talked about this previously, is the fact of how much repeat business you have. And it's not just, hey, I bought a house a few years later, I'm refinancing. It's, I bought a house and 10 years later, I'm selling and buying a house, and that you've built relationships with your customers to help them through their personal and financial journey. And that speaks a lot to your longevity in the career, and then also that hand holding to be a partner with your clients.
Oh, absolutely. And I pride myself on the handholding process and being able to communicate with every person out there, whether they are a first-time buyer or whether this may be your 20th purchase. And that's so important to communicate. And I love over communicating. And, I always said, if I were going to be a server in a restaurant, you're going to have to tell me to stop filling your glass, but that's so important. And again, this can be a daunting process, right? And you want somebody that you can call at any time and answer those questions that you have. And I know my referral partners do. Your realtor wants to be able to call, your loan officer throughout the process. So it means the world.
That's awesome. Well, Heath, if someone wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way to reach you?
2 ways, Shannon. Pick the phone up and dial 615-347-0578. And you can always find me online at heathalbritton.com.
Great. Thanks for joining me today, Heath. I enjoyed it. I learned a few things and look forward to working with you.
Same here. Thanks so much.